Miss Gardner too.
Do what? I'd like to call to order the Parks Board meeting for February 24th. If you bow your head, we'll have a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for the many blessings that you give us. Be with us as we go through this night. Let us make the decisions that you want us to make, Lord. Thank you for everything you do for us. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance. What about Miss Hellman? She
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I love it. I love it.
Good job.
All right, before we have the acceptance of the agenda, I've been asked to add under Roman numeral 5 as A1 a LPRF grant application. I just need a motion to approve that. Ms. Rathert, second, Mr. Golden. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now I need a motion to accept the agenda as done. Mr. Bennett first, Ms. Hellman second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? If you've had a chance to look over the minutes from last meeting, I'll accept a motion. Mr. Pike was first and Mr. Perry was second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Under public comments, Pamela, I'm just going to call you Pamela. I can't, what?
They may have signed it in the wrong place.
No,
Yeah.
Pamela Roulette?
I think she
Roulette?
was at the first meeting.
Oh, okay. She's from the
Good
first-
enough.
The
No
hearing.
problem.
Thank you, Pam.
All right. Well, let everybody say hi to her just in case. All right. Items for approval. Grass volleyball event. Mr. Phillips?
A1 first. Remember we added,
Yeah, but it's under here.
oh, okay.
He's on Zoom.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, we can't hear.
Can't hear him.
Oh, there you
Can you hear me?
Tell
Is
him
it working? Can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you.
Do you know
hear me?
sign language?
Oh, here.
Can you hear me? Nothing? Okay.
Give us a second, okay?
Okay. Is this any better?
Wonderful world of technology. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Okay, let me see if I can turn this up here.
No.
Barely.
Is it any better?
Oh, it's getting better.
Okay.
There you
There
are.
we go.
All right, sir. State your name and tell me what you want.
Okay, my name is Daniel Phillips. I'm with Rogue Pineapple Volleyball, and we're trying to get approval for a tournament on May the 25th of this year.
Mr. Phillips sent this application. He worked with Dallas on this before Dallas went out. We have grass volleyball tournaments through another tournament director. He would be a new tournament director. The date and the field, I believe, work for us, and he has also offered to contribute part of his proceeds to Grace Place.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Reminds me of the 70s.
No interference with anything we have going on?
No, that's Memorial Day weekend, and that field is open that he's wanting to use that weekend. So,
Okay,
I think
questions?
as a staff, we're okay with it.
Questions? Mr. Golden?
Is this what are the ages of participants? Is it adult, is it youth?
And adults. Our main target audience for our events is adults, but in the past 3 years, we've actually had a growing number of people that have wanted to make it more accessible for juniors. So ages 12 and up would be the junior level, that are rising middle school students and high school students that are wanting to play in junior divisions as well.
Okay. Any more questions? Do I hear a motion to approve? Mr. Bennett, do I hear a second? Mr. Perry? Any more discussion? Golly. All in favor say aye, just say it one time. All right, unanimous. Thank you, sir. Sorry for your trouble there.
Oh, no, all good. I just wasn't sure what was going on.
Yeah, but you're hearing yourself once, we're hearing us twice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, under A1, LPRF grant application, Mr. Gilly, I'm assuming that you will speak to that?
I will, yes, sir. Ms. Ely, if you want to come up and we'll go through these slides that we just heard 30 minutes ago, probably a little more quickly. In December, you all voted to recommend that we apply for this, and tonight we're here to ask for your recommendation for us, for BOMA to authorize us to apply for it. That would be your stated motion if you agree to it, and as part of our requirement for the grant, TDEC requires that our presentation be listed in the minutes. So that's why we're going to go through this one more time and talk about the park improvements that would go along with this grant application. So I'll turn it over to Alicia, and y'all can ask any questions. I know a couple weren't here, so.
So I will go through this very quickly.
The button's up, there you go.
Thank you. I will go through this very quickly. I know most of you had heard this. There are 31 slides. TDEC very prescriptively describes what we've got to have on this. Mr. Gilly explained at the 5 o'clock public meeting that these are also posted online on social media, I believe, and so that's sort of taking place as part of our second public meeting, and so folks can also look at that and post comments and questions as well. So essentially what I want to do is highlight what the project is asking for. And so this is an LPRF grant. If you all recall, we submitted in 2020 that funded the Drakes Creek soccer field turf and light replacement for LED lights, as well as the LED lights at Rugby Field. And then in the 2023 application, we were funded over $3 million to implement the Heritage Park Master Plan. So that is underway. We are beginning that process currently. And then this is the 2025 application round. So we're highlighting improvements for 6 different parks, a variety of facilities, really focusing on ADA improvements. That's a big priority for TDEC, as you can imagine, and so I'll go through this list here. Drakes Creek Park, proposing to rebuild the concession restroom building there, turfing the infield of Field 5. Sanders Ferry Park, doing an inclusive playground there. We know that Mary's is very highly sought after here and much desired to be added at another facility. In addition to that, would be renovating the restroom to be ADA compliant and more user friendly. We'd be repaving the walking loop, really addressing ADA improvements there, repaving the parking lot, and then repaving and renovating the basketball court as well there. Veterans Park, we're proposing to do parking lot renovations there, focusing on the ADA parking and improving the whole lot there, as well as turfing the infields. Memorial Park, we would be renovating the lights to be LED conversion, so lowering electricity and increasing safety there. Rugby, we're proposing to pave over the entrance drive as well as all the parking lot
With the 2020 LPRF grant, we were able to do just the 88 parking stalls, but this would be paving the rest of the parking lot there. And then at Mallard Point, we'd be improving and renovating the boat ramp and dock, as well as doing all of the replacement of parking in the entrance drive there. So that's the scope. The funding, as if you recall, LPRF grants are a 50-50, so TDEC's providing 50% and the city's providing 50%, but there's a caveat on this one where we're using Durham Farms land value as part of the city's match. So essentially, I think it's about $2 million that the city would be paying out of the PIPP fund for the $6.6 million of improvements for this project scope. Site suitability, most of this is just working within the current amenity areas, so no major impacts there. I will highlight on this, part of the grant application, we are requesting funds to update the city's park master plan that is required every 5 years, and it's up for expiration at the end of this year. So before we get to the next grant cycle, we need to update that. And what this slide is showing you are the recommendations that came out of the last plan. The yellow highlights are everything that the staff has worked so hard to complete already as a part of the last master plan, and then the red boxes are what this project scope would be improving and sort of checking off the box for these improvements. So staff has been hard at work there. This slide is showing the SCORP goals and initiatives alignment. The SCORP stands for the Statewide Comprehensive Outdoor Recreation Plan. It's essentially TDEC's 5-year, 10-year plan, just like the city did. The state is also required to do that, and they really want to see this project and the grant application aligning with their goals. So this is us telling them how and where we're aligning with their goals. The grant is required to be completed within 3 years of not the application date, but rather the contract date. And so looking at our past history with them, it would be about another year from now before we would be under contract with the state when that 3-year timeline starts. But this is us outlining what we would anticipate that project process to look like, ending in about 25 months, well and short of the 3-year requirement. So we don't anticipate any risks there. We talked about design elements, essentially us putting our best guess. Staff's done a great job getting some paving quotes and lighting quotes and other quotes for things to put together to ask for that $6 million ask here for the budget, and we're just breaking that out for that. And then for TDEC's review, just existing site condition photos for all of the facilities here. Flipping quickly through those, and then their last ask are a series of maps that we put together showing the locations within the state, within the county, and then with the city itself, and then a parcel viewer for each of the 6 different project sites, just so that they can become familiar with that in their review. And the site plans, we talked about the scope. The site plan just shows them in a graphic version of what we're asking for in addition to our lengthy text application. That's the last one.
Wow.
Much faster the second
You
time
done
around.
good. You did good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Ms. Gilliard, if I understand correctly, we're not voting to approve this, we're voting to pass this along to BOMA, is that correct?
You would be voting to recommend to BOMA to authorize us to apply.
Okay. Questions? Motion to approve. Mr. Golden, second, Mr. Perry. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gillen.
Thank you, Alicia.
Pickleball Clinic. Ms. Talon?
While Landon is coming up here, you will recall in the fall, we approved his clinics with Dinkville for the new pickleball courts, and then said, you know, come back here in the spring, let's see how it went, and we'll maybe approve it for a longer period of time. So that's what his request is here to this afternoon. Those free clinics have gone really well. I think he can speak to that better than me.
Yep.
The first tournament we had during Pig Fest was a huge success, and he has got another tournament scheduled to be on the books as a fundraiser for Mary's Magical Place this spring. So I appreciate him doing that, and I'll let him explain what he wants to do with these clinics.
Yeah, I'll kind of give you a recap of the pickleball courts. Since you guys opened them, it's been a big attraction for the community. I feel like a lot of people that were already playing were also happy that they could stay in their community and play pickleball on the best courts in Middle Tennessee, and then, of course, gaining a lot of new players to play. So, yeah, pretty much you drive by there every night whenever it was in the fall. You saw, 20, 40 people out there pretty regularly. So we definitely appreciate you guys doing that. But yeah, kind of touching on the beginners clinics. Yeah, we would start from 5 and go all the way till 9. Kind of do hour clinics and just free. And we would see, on average, probably 30 to 40 people per Tuesday night. So that was really, really good to see. And, people would share it and come back. We had, a couple people come multiple times because pickleball does take a second to kind of learn the rules and all that stuff. So, but yeah, it was a big success. And like I said, we had a big tournament there during Pigs Fest. We were able to donate, $2,000, $2,100 to the charities as well, because we just love to give back to the community. So we appreciate all you guys' help there. But yeah, I mean, we love to continue doing the clinics there on Tuesdays. I think we have Tuesday, Thursdays, but as of right now, I think Tuesdays is good enough with other courts out there and stuff doing stuff until we get blown out on numbers. I think one night a week is good on the clinics, and then since we already did have Thursday approved, I think we could use that other day as like an organized structure of play where we could do like a ladder play or something more structure for the players instead of just open courts where people just play. And I'm fine running that as well, where you kind of bring more structure there where players can go up and down on the courts. You kind of see that at different private courts that are coming into town, like the Pickleball Kingdoms and stuff like that. They call it ladder play. So we could do ladder play at the courts just to provide another element to make Veterans Park a cool spot for pickleball, and you can get some of those higher level players to go out there and play. And so I think that's a good proposal. If we, if the beginners aren't taking up the Thursday in our clinics, we can do a ladder play there. But yeah, it's been a big hit. I don't know if any of you guys have been out there, but if not, you guys come to our beginners clinic on Tuesday. But that's kind of it. Just want to continue our partnership there, and we already have the COI over to Andy and everything. We have it all the way through. I think whenever we started, August or September, we had a 1-year COI, so that's all taken care of. But yeah, we enjoy doing it. We enjoy giving back to the community, and we see a lot of parents out there with the kids or husband, wives doing a little date night, so it's a good little mix. But any questions?
Listen.
Just kind of for me, I'm just asking, it's kind of the parks and you, how's the online scheduling going with the pickleball courts? Is that up yet?
We have, with pickleball, with tennis, it's going great. With pickleball, we got some immediate feedback that said that probably wouldn't be a good idea. So we could pull the trigger on that at any time, but thus far, we've not had anybody ask for it, and we've had people say, please don't do it. The first come, first serve using the paddle system that pickleball has seemed to be working. Different than tennis, you go to play pickleball and you've got those paddles in the line and basically it says you're next, whereas tennis doesn't really have that. So, yeah.
Yeah, tennis doesn't really mix in. Like if you go play tennis, you're playing with your group or your player, singles or whatever. But pickleball, I mean, you do see a lot of people mixing in and stuff. So like the paddle system does work. But that's where I mentioned doing like a organized like ladder play or structure play where you can kind of, because sometimes players get annoyed where you play a game, then you have to rotate off, and then you might not play again for another 30 minutes or something. So if we can create like one night a week where you can kind of have like a little ladder play, and like I said, it's structured like just, let's say 4 courts out of the 6 courts are the ladder, where if you win, you move up a court, if you lose, you move down a court. And everyone can play there. But that can bring another value to the courts where it's not just open play and, it's kind of scattered. Because sometimes when it does get so packed, people will avoid going out there because you play a game and then you're off for 30 minutes. Then you play a game and you're off for 30 minutes. So we can provide some structure there that might bring another kind of value to it.
Any questions? Motion to approve?
I will.
All right, Ms. Rather. Second, Ms. Hellman.
Just to be clear, we're approving him on Tuesdays and Thursdays from what time? 5 o'clock
Yeah,
to
5 to 9.
5 to 9 on 4 courts. That's what he had in the fall.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure everybody understands what we're doing, because I'm the one that'll get the phone calls on Thursday at 6 when it's packed. And
would it be good or prudent for him to come back to give us another, how it's grown for another year, or is that necessary?
I think at this point, we know where pickleball is, to
Okay.
be honest. I mean, it's here for a hot minute, I think. As long as Landon's alive, people are gonna be at Dinkville at this point. But he's done a good job, and if there are issues, we certainly can bring things back.
Yeah, me and Andy are in good communication, so if anything does come up, good or bad, we kind of communicate. But I'm more than welcome to come back and see the board, and we can go over if anything does come across that needs to be addressed. I'm a local, so it's not bad.
I think we ought to amend that motion to make sure we're doing the right thing.
No, I would say the motion is to approve his expanded beginner clinics on Tuesdays and ladder play on Thursdays, 4 courts, 5 to 9.
Okay.
Ms. Rathert and Ms. Hellman?
Is that all right, Ms. Rather?
Absolutely.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you
I
guys.
need one of them shirts, man.
All right.
It's a good-looking shirt.
Thanks, sir.
I'll pay for it. I mean, you don't have to give it to me. Andre's Barbecue, Ms. Hathaway. Oh, boy, I hope good, he's here.
How y'all doing?
Good. I gotta have one of them shirts too, man.
Well, you know what? We can make that happen. Well, I'm Andre Hathaway, owner of Andre's Barbecue, and a little history about myself. I moved here in 2019 and worked at FedEx for 30 years. Decided to do my barbecue full time, so I retired from there, and here I am. And I done made Hendersonville, my place, to spend the rest of my life, I hope, and want to actually bring, my barbecue here and let people enjoy, and y'all, that's it. But I want to, I've been collaborating with Andy on just use my food trailer down at the Veterans Park on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday. Just because I travel around Tennessee a lot, and I'm just kind of worn out on that. I just want to just be stationary, here in Hendersonville. I have a good following of people who love me to be here, and I'm trying my best to make it my home. And I'm thinking, down at Mary's Magical Place, it's up and coming. With the pickleball now that's going on, and with me down there, oh wow, you're gonna need some traffic lights. And then of course, I plan on donating, 7% of my earnings, then plus donating roughly $2,000 a year, just to help out, at the park. And that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Ms. Rather?
Andy, is
Any
there
questions?
any problem on the park side? I'm looking at the contract here. Are you
So
okay
this-
with what's written here?
This contract is a template that was used for the broken paddle outfitters for kayak
Okay.
rentals. 7.5%, 1,000 of net sales all year long would come back to the city's general fund, and then $1,000 in June or July, and $1,000 in December to Mary's Magical Place, I think is what is described in here. So as far as I'm concerned, right now, there's no issues. This will leave here. It will have to go to either the General Committee and Public Works, and then Bowman will have the final say on it. So the city attorney and everybody would look it over before it's done. Your motion here would be to recommend yes or no. You recommend that BOMA approve it or not
Okay.
from here. As far as the contract itself.
Okay. Good. All right, then I so move.
So we got a first from Ms. Rather, second from Mr. Golden.
I got questions.
I've gotten there. Questions?
So first, we allow one food truck in during regular hours of the park. What's to stop that from becoming 10 food trucks, and your business is now cut into, as we call it in the food business, share a stomach, is cut into multiple pieces. So that would be a concern. Secondly, it's one thing to be in the park with food trucks on tournaments versus regular weeknights. And thirdly, you're giving them access to which concession stand?
The one beside the pickleball courts.
Okay. That's my
Is
question.
what the request is.
Okay. But my biggest concern would be, what happens once it gets approved for one? What do we do? Because that's gonna become a big problem, because we allow them in the tournaments for things, and I love on your barbecue. I eat it all the time when you're in the park, okay?
I appreciate it.
So, I'm a fan of it and I support it, but I do have a concern that once you allow one food truck in, you can't say no to the rest that come and apply.
Well, I think you can say no. I
Yeah, we
mean, I think I think this board is the first thing. I mean, our job as a staff is when somebody brings something to us to send it through people in here first and then bring it to y'all. It's kind of like the planning commission. When somebody requests to have their property rezoned, it's like the planning department doesn't stop it from going to the planning commission. It's on the agenda. So when somebody makes that request, our job is to bring it to you all. So as far as can you stop it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, basically you can. I mean, it might not be warm and fuzzy, but
I had that concern as well, but it going through planning and BOMA, I think they'll straighten all of that out, make sure that, because there'll be gray areas in there, I'm sure.
I mean, the biggest thing I hope I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, but, is it gonna cut into concession stands, concession stand sales? That's where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Right, so you gotta think about that. Now, does he offer things that the concession stand doesn't have? Yes. Are people gonna, here's the thing I would say about that at Veterans Park. People don't even drive around down to that parking lot to park. I don't know that they're gonna walk down there to get barbecue. A lot of times. They might, I hope they do, but, it's an interesting dynamic at Veterans Park sometimes.
So, yeah, so that's just my question. I know this is all gonna be worked out, but like, generally speaking, you're gonna be over there by Mary's Magical Place and the pickleball courts, and then generally, what time of day are you thinking of wanting to set up shop?
The middle button, right below the mic.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, during the week, it'll be anywhere from like 5 to closing time, but then on Saturdays, it depends on what event's going on. I can be there all day, but like Andy said, I don't really serve what the concessions serve. So I look at it like, if people want to eat nachos, they go to concession stand to eat nachos, but they want barbecue food, they can come to the my trail and the concession stand. That's that's their choice. I don't try to infringe on anybody, what they got going on in their trailer or concession stand, so I try to do the opposite. And
That's it?
that's it.
Mr.
Well,
Bennett?
I'll second the motion that you made to see, because I'd be interested to see how it works. I mean, I do have reservations about it, but Andre's a stand-up man and runs a stand-up business and
Thank you, appreciate it.
does a lot of good for the community, so, I do voice my concerns about this will become more, and maybe not, but hopefully not. I mean, and are you still gonna do the tournaments over at rugby? I'm sure Brian wants to know that answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was my concern too, was just two things. You're going to operate out of the concession stand with selling the food, or are you going to sell it out of your truck?
I'm gonna operate out of the concession stand.
Okay.
I use my truck just to cook
Okay.
and take
Transport it to the stand
to
and
the
sell it to the
stand.
stand?
Yeah, in the,
Okay.
yeah. I won't be prepping, I won't be prepping any like meeting stuff like that. I won't be doing that. I do that, off the campus, off the park. The only thing that I would probably use is probably the refrigeration, just to keep the cold stuff. But anything like meeting stuff, staying overnight and stuff like that, I got a place for that.
Okay. I guess my question, do we have room for that, for his stuff in the cooler and all that?
And if he's using the concession stand by Mary's Magical Playground, is that what you're, correct?
Yes.
Say that again, sorry.
He's using the concession stand by Mary's Magical
Correct.
Playground. Then that's kind of dust and cobwebs that needs to be
Okay.
used. So I'm sure there's plenty of space, because I don't use that.
Okay.
And then that means he has to be open every time there's pickleball, right?
I mean,
Keith,
what you're
I'm messing with
approving,
you.
what you're approving here is giving him the ability to be there Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays if he so chooses.
Right.
To sell. If people call me and say, well, Andre wasn't there today, I'm gonna be like, you need to call Andre. That's not maybe he couldn't come that day. One thing we need to make sure of is, we do have a contract with Coca-Cola. So we'll have to make sure that if you are selling any drinks, either you get those through the people that operate the concession stands and resell them, or you get them from Coca-Cola, which we can work with you on that.
So if that's the case, Andre, and you don't want to go buy them at the store, get with me if you get approved, and we can work out a deal, because I order pretty much every week at the ballpark over there through November.
What it is, you can just, I won't even be bothered to drinks. You can just put them down there, and whatever, I sell in drinks, that go right to you. Just, like I said, I don't want to infringe on anything you have going on. Just let me do the barbecue, and I'm fine.
That's fine. Hey, Keith, do you know or Andy, do y'all know if there's still a Coke cooler in there?
There is two of them. There's two refrigerators.
Because we need to see if they work.
They do.
Okay,
We use them during Pig Fest.
okay.
We're looking at this a lot in the future. Do you have a question, Ms. Rutherford?
No, I think it's mute. Everything's been discussed. We're good.
All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Speaking of pig, I mean, during festivals and other things, I assume this has just worked out, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that when that space is in use in other, like a festival, that wouldn't necessarily apply to this agreement, would it?
We'll still be in there when we need to be in there.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Done deal. I'm serious about that shirt, Jack.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
So, Andre, just to kind of let you know from here, it'll take about a month to go through the Bowman process. So
Okay.
you can't go down there Tuesday and start selling.
Well, you know what? I wanted to.
I'll keep you updated.
Okay,
All right.
okay. Well, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you,
All right.
buddy. Book approval, Mr. Gilly.
Yes, sir. As you will recall, when we did the Storybook Trail with the Health Department at Memorial Park, we had a list of books, and you all approved a list, and we said if we were going to use any other books that we would bring them back here. We brought one, Joseph Newgarden's book, Tonight, we were asking for you to approve this book called The Home, which was written by Joe Bonzel of the Oak Ridge Boys. As part of the Heritage Park plan, we intend to put a storybook trail along one of the walking trails there. Joe's lived back there and with his family for a long, long time, and he was a big contributor to purchasing the citizens portion of the Beatty Farm when that happened. And we called Miss Mary, and she was very graciously gave us permission to use Joe's book, which was a big deal to me. So we would appreciate if you all would add this book to the list of approved books we could use.
So moved.
Ms. Rather,
I think it's
second, Mr.
Pike.
Mr. Pike, okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That took longer than I thought.
Thank you.
All right, a boat dock fishing pier relocation, this, Mr. Gilly.
Okay, thank you, sir. As part of the Build Dance, boat ramp and dock renovations at Sanders Ferry, they are replacing the 3 docks that we have and allowing us to utilize the old ones in some way. There are 2 maps in your packet on page 20 and 21. We are proposing to relocate one of the boat docks to extend the current boat dock at Mallard Point. And we're also proposing to add an additional boat dock / fishing pier at Mallard Point. Oftentimes, if you're driving down the road, you'll see people have pulled off and they're standing down there fishing at that area. It's at the bottom of page 20 in your packet. The third place, we would add an additional fishing pier dock there to Memorial Park. The area that you're seeing that we have highlighted where we would like to put one of these docks is just a little bit down from where the Broken Paddle Outfitters people will have a new dock with kayaks stored all the time. And we thought putting this one here would kind of alleviate people from thinking those are public kayaks and all those things, because this will be a good place to tie up a kayak. So the Corps has kind of given their preliminary blessing, and our insurance company has said we're good. So I wanted to get this to you all for your approval, since it involves a facility.
Okay. Questions? Mr. Perry?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Mr. Perry made the motion, Mr. Pike second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? You've done it.
Thank you.
Parks mid-year budget amendment. Once again, Mr. Gilly.
Okay. Thank you. In your packet, you will see on pages 23, 24, 25, highlighted in yellow, some proposed amendments from the mid-year budget that the mayor has put together. A lot of these are just taking monies that have been donated and putting them where they're supposed to be. We had donations from Pig Fest. We've had donations from other people in the community. We had an anonymous $50,000 donation that needs to be appropriated. We're not even sure what project we're going to use it on yet, but we will figure it out, I promise you. That person has donated the last 3 years. That makes a total of about $100,000 he's donated to the parks. So there's a lot of that in here. There is also the recommendation of money to go to our assets to purchase a new field groomer, which is much needed. There is a addition of part-time salaries. Throughout the year, throughout the last 2 years, not only have we increased the pay for our part-time employees, but in adding all the schools that we added this year for basketball, we added 2 gyms at Pope John Paul and then 5 gyms with Liberty Creek. So that's 7 gyms that we added, plus Beach Elementary, 8. There was another gym we added back, Gene Brown. We added 9 gyms this year to basketball. So in doing that, like at Pope John Paul, we have to have at least 3 people every time we open those doors. Liberty Creek High School, we got to have at least 3 or 4. Liberty Creek Elementary, 3. So we have had to bring on a lot of people just to have basketball. in addition to the part-time maintenance people that we've had to increase production out of.
Pretty good little amount of money.
So that's why that line item is increasing. There's also a line item in here to replace the 2 wooden pedestrian bridges at Drakes Creek Park by Field 12 and 13, and the bridge going from baseball to soccer. So those line items are in there. If anybody has any questions, your job as a Parks Board, I think page 27 pretty much spells out every line item. One of your jobs as a Parks Board is to look at the budget and make recommendations. So your motion for this would be to make a motion to recommend that BOMA approve the parks items of the mid-year budget, or anything else that you want to add to it or not. It's not, you can't really make that decision. You can make suggestions.
Are you satisfied with what's been presented here?
Yes, ma'am. The mid-year budget's a useful tool. The word emergency is a little bit much, but these are needed items at this time, or we would not have asked them. And actually, the one about the salaries, that request came from finance after they evaluated everything that we're having to do with all of our people. The 2 bridges, that's a large line item, but after all the flooding we've had, those are really in need of, we have shored them up as best we can to where I think the codes department feels good about it for get through the season, but we've got to get them replaced.
I know before at a previous meeting, we talked about staff, like particularly for maintenance. Any chance that's on the horizon yet?
I think there's a good chance we will get at least 1 full-time maintenance person in the next year's budget.
Just 1?
As of right now, that's what I've seen so far.
All right.
That was my question. Good job, Jim.
All right. You have a motion? Mr. Bennett?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Rathert. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Unanimous?
Who was the first and second? I'm sorry. Got it, thank you.
Yeah, Bennett and Rathert. I thought I said it loud enough this time. I'm making a conscious effort to say it louder, so you'll.
It's not loud, it was the speed at which you were moving, sir. And you,
Well, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Very fleet-footed.
Financial reports, Rugby, Mr. Silkwood. I'll slow down.
you're good.
Yeah, that's the first. Ken needs to speak. I'm going too fast. Financials for rugby, pretty much not a lot of change from prior years for us. We've had some pretty good support through just donations from various organizations and some people around the community has helped us out. We did spend roughly about $7,000 just helping keeping up the fields out there between fertilizer and weed, and just getting some of that maintained. We earlier this year in January, with the help with Andy and Trevor, we did increase the park out there to likely get another 35 to 40 cars. We extended the parking lot a little bit further. The rugby team helped pay for quite a bit of getting that taken care of. So we had some rocks, some gravel, had it graded. So when we go into pave, we now have a little bit more space out there to pave. So I know both us and Civitan will enjoy having more parking spots for the families that come out and enjoy the park out there. But nothing too crazy from prior years through our financials, but not sure if there's any question you guys have.
Yeah, I'm just curious how your numbers, registration looking year over year?
Once we get past this cold spell, hopefully a little bit stronger, but it's been a difficult start. We have, of the last 6 practices, we've had one, or supposed to have scheduled 6 practices. We've had one in the last 2 weeks. Some indoor stuff, we were able to get access to an indoor facility to do a little bit, but it's pretty difficult for us to do much in a 30 by 30 gym. So, but we were able to get some fitness in. So we're hoping better weather, but so far so good.
Brian, you want to tell them about the event this coming weekend?
We've got, this weekend, we've got the high school is doing some scrimmages from a team against St. Louis. So us and one of the other Nashville high schools are doing a scrimmage against St. Louis. And then we've got 2 men's games going on as well, 2 women's games going on as well. I think the women's I think they've got a team from up in the Northeast flying down. I think it's this weekend that they've got an out-of-town team coming in. So quite a bit's going on out there. So we're starting to get geared up and ready to go. But we'll probably have people out there from about 9 to 4. There'll be rugby going on all day. So you've got our stuff and also some of the local teams as well going to be out there.
Any more questions? Thank you, sir.
The only thing I'd add, it's not on the financials, but we are working on trying to get the concession area covered. So we're working on getting probably somewhere around a 40 by 26 foot covered area. So we're working on trying to increase the concrete pad. So as you guys think about some of those extra sponsorship dollars, we are in the process. I do have an in-kind donation for the covered section, so I do have that already taken care of. But that concrete pad may run us an extra 40, 50 grand to get it built out. So, but we are, there's needed for shade out there, so we're looking at trying to get that accomplished. So both us and Civitan are working a little on that together, but I'm spearheading a lot of that. So just letting you guys know it's something else. I'm always working on getting things done out there, trying to get the park continuing to be improved.
We thank you so much for what you've been doing out there anyway. So thank you very much. All right, updates, recreation, Ms. Hamlin?
Thank you. Our Raptors basketball season will end this weekend. We have our final games on Friday night and Saturday. Saturday will be our pizza party and participation awards will be given out. We've had 40-plus playing with us this season and have had great showing most every time we've met. I want to say thank you to Mr. Mann for the use of Whitten Elementary each week and to thank all those who came out and helped me run the program. There were several times that I had conflicts and either had to leave early or couldn't make it, and it truly helps to have a village, as they say, when running these programs. Raptors baseball kickball registration is going on now through March 21st. This year is going to be different. Everyone who wants to play either baseball or kickball or both needs to register now. Then when the season starts, they can choose to play only baseball or only kickball or both from their one-time registration. So anybody who usually waits to register for kickball needs to go ahead and get registered right now when baseball is going on. Special Needs Egg Hunt is scheduled for April 10th. This takes place at Mary's Magical Playground. This will be closed the day of the event from about 2:30 until 7 o'clock. Registration begins March 3rd and runs through April 9th of 2025. There are 3 sessions. Session 1 is 3:30 to 4:15. Session 2 is 4:30 to 5:15, and Session 3 is 5:30 to 6:15. Once all spots are filled, registration will be closed. Check-in will begin 10 minutes before their assigned time. We do ask that they bring a bag or basket to collect their eggs in. And if anyone's wanting to help with this event, we are always looking for donations of filled eggs with candy or toys, giveaway prizes, and or T-shirts. Hendersonville Civitan sponsors this with the Parks Department as well. Kids Club, this year Kids Club will still be at Whitten Elementary. Dates will be June 9th through July 18th. Registration is being finalized and more information will be on our website soon. Those who attended last year will have a pre-registration session and then it will be open to others. The fee is $350 for the residents and $370 for non-residents for the entire 6 weeks. Campers bring their own lunch, snacks, and drinks. And then Kids Club summer employment opportunities. We will be looking to hire some camp counselors for our special needs kids program. I will begin accepting applications from April 7th through April 25th. Dates to work will begin around June 5th for setup and end around July 18th. Hours could be 8 to 3, Monday through Friday. If they're interested, they can email me or they can come to the office starting April 7th and pick up an application. And then interviews will start right after that. Any questions?
Very good.
If you want to come out Saturday and see the Raptors play, we started having the parents play the kids at the last part. We'll put you out there and let you enjoy.
Recreation Coordinator, anybody have Mr. Fugate's report? Sir?
I have it, sir.
Yes, sir. Could you report to us?
And I will say, when you go and watch, when I went and watched, I couldn't tell the difference between the adults and the parents and the people playing because the parents weren't very good. You know.
Well, we know all about that as a panelist.
Ori's report, congratulations to our two high school rec league basketball champions. The gold division team Ferda, second year in a row. The silver division, the Panda Warriors. Congratulations to those folks. Adult basketball has this week and next week, and then it is over. We are currently having registrations for adult kickball, adult pickleball, and adult softball. Those registration ends March 7th. Summer T-ball, 5U and 6U, along with summer adult basketball registrations will start March 24th. It's hard to believe we're already starting summer registrations, but March 24th and run through April 25th for summer T-ball, 5U and 6U, and summer adult basketball. That is all, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Would anybody have the special events report, sir?
I'll tell you, the special events report is that we have narrowed down from about 50 applicants to about 9 that we will bring in, probably 5 of those for in-person interviews. So hopefully, we've got some good candidates. We will hopefully have someone hired by the end of March is the goal, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maintenance, Mr. Cole?
Yes, sir. We finally been able to get back outside, so it's been nice this week. We were able to get on some ball fields today, try and get those going for this weekend. I know we're still a little ways away on some of them, but it's looking like we're going to have about 4 more ready than we thought this week, so that'll be good. Let's see. We're working through the insurance from the flood, trying to go through a lot of those damages, get what we can cleaned up, and get quoted and everything for our meeting with insurance coming up. Also, hockey had a cleanup day. The Inline Association came out and they put a lot of new tiles in. I think half a quart on each. They put a new type that's supposed to be UV resistant, so cut down on wear and tear and the fading that they were having going on. So I'll be interested to see how those work out for them, because I know that was an issue. And also, we have started doing some upgrades over to the dog park. I know that we've got a ribbon cutting in about a month, so we still have several things to do, but we're going to be working pretty hard over there to get all that done. So that's about it.
Thank you, sir. Before I go any farther, Mr. Gilly, could you give me any reason why you would think that Mr. Long would not be doing his report tonight, sir?
Yeah, he had a baby. Yeah, baby number 3.
There you go.
Well, his wife had baby number 3.
I thought it was say, yeah.
We've tried to tell him that there's ways to prevent that, but he keeps having babies and keeps going out on leave. But I do have his report.
Yes, sir.
They're doing well. He texts. He's still working some. He's kind of hit in and out, but he's around his emails and his texts and trying to work with the leagues as we begin the spring. Tennessee United and HSC actually, I think tonight, started practice at the soccer complex, so that's a good win for today. This weekend will be the first weekend of scheduled games for Tennessee United, with Hendersonville Soccer Club games scheduled to begin the week after spring break. Middle school soccer will begin games next week. I will tell you that I think nearly every middle school soccer program in Sumner County has been at the park practicing on the turf field this week or last week. Adult Soccer League is scheduled to begin in early April. Lacrosse is up and running. Rugby season is up and running. Last weekend, the weekend that just happened, we had teams from New Jersey and the University of Tennessee. So that was a good out-of-town win for the rugby complex. Flag football is scheduled to begin, I think, next week. Is that right? Practices start next week. First game's March 23rd. And then this Thursday, the first ever high school girls Sumner County flag football game will happen at Drakes Creek Park. So that's a big deal, right? Been a building program for a long time. Glad that the schools have that opportunity. And Dallas's new son's name is Bennett.
Strong name. Strong name.
Thank you, sir. Assistant Director, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, sir. A couple things for the Fast Pitch League. Their evaluations are, excuse me, this Saturday or Sunday, one of the two. Senior men, they're working on getting their schedules complete for practices and games. Rumor has it, Mr. Bubba has been in conditioning 5 days a week. You see him on Facebook every morning, so he should be quite well prepared. Civitan baseball started practicing about 2 weeks ago, and due to weather, I think they've practiced one night. So they are definitely behind on practicing. They're doing some tonight, but they're a little bit behind on practice nights. The middle school baseball is going to start March 17th after spring break. The middle school fast pitch league was supposed to start last week and got rained out, so they are actually starting games tomorrow night. I'm going to play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. So it'll be a busy night for them. The hockey evaluations was this past Sunday, and they'll start practicing next week. The high school baseball and softball teams have started practicing and scrimmaging at the park. They start games in a couple weeks. Monday. They moved it up. TSSAA moved it up a week this year. For tournament standpoint, the first 2 tournaments have been rain/snowed out. So we're 0 for 2 on Saturdays. This Saturday looks much better. The Station Camp High School, 6 or 7 fields. Hopefully we'll get that in this Saturday. And the youth basketball finished up. We had championship day this past Saturday. Civitan did a great job running that. We had a lot of moving parts this year, a lot of changes, moving around, and everything got played. Every game and every championship finished up on Saturday. The way we break it down is we actually had 23 different finals on Saturday, 3 different gyms. So a lot of trophies and presentations on Saturday. And it was a good, very good day, very good season for them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Director, Mr. Gilly?
800 games, I think, was youth basketball.
Yeah, between regular season and tournament.
Regular season and tournament. Last Saturday and Sunday, we had in our group text about basketball over 300 text messages about games moving around, coaches being ejected, all kinds of good things when the tournament happens. But Keith did a great job keeping up with everything, adding in those new schools that we talked about earlier, allowed us to expand the league. Big thanks to him for what he does with basketball, along with our program supervisors, our part-time people that go and man the gyms. A thankless task. If you've ever been involved with basketball, you would not want to be a gym supervisor probably. But they love it, and we appreciate them. We also thank Sumner County Schools for letting us utilize their facilities in Pope John Paul. That's a critical relationship that we have both ways with them. I know we talk about it a lot, but it is very critical. We talked about Dallas's baby. I don't have to talk any more about him tonight. Trevor mentioned the flood. I've been the director for 7.5 years. I now have 9 insurance notebooks from what you would call natural disasters on my bookcase. So it's kind of not fun time, but this flood was not as bad as last year's flood, so that's good. It's still very annoying, and our guys get tired of fixing the same things over and over again. We're trying, as we make these repairs and improvements, we try to do things that will help make it more resilient in the future to water, but water has a way of finding its way around until it figures out how to hurt you. So appreciate everybody's support and reaching out on that, and that is all I have, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Question? Round table, Ms. Ted, Mr. Montoya, Mr. Pike, Mr. Perry, Mr. Golden, Ms. Hellman, Ms. Bennett, no, Mr. Bennett. Hey, well, if Dallas can do it, you can do it.
Oh, worse. Congratulations to the Long family. Great job, Dallas.
All right. Ms. Rath? Ms. Gordon? Nothing at all? Well, that being said, I think I would like to have a motion to adjourn. I got one from Mr. Pike.
Oh, good.
And I got one from Mr. Golden.
Oh, good.
All in favor say aye. All opposed? We're out of here.